maybe it's about time we start the Dawless gear discussion. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly have mixed feelings about the Dawless world, man. Because I see it's a bit of a hype around it in the past couple of years. There are a lot of channels on YouTube doing some really good content. Don't get me wrong, like people like Bo Beats, for example, like his content is super well made, like top-notch stuff. And he's been championing that Dawless, community. Like Dawless jamming is another channel that's pretty dope as well. A lot of people are doing this, but what I feel about the Dawless gear is that it kind of lends itself to being more of a hobby. Maybe I'm wrong here. So if someone feels like I'm not disrespecting the people that do it, because everyone needs to unwind from work and stuff, but it kind of makes it hard for you to finish tracks and to be productive. What do you think about it? Like, what's your opinion?
I think you already made a really good point actually on that. I pretty much think as you think. I have a lot of mixed feelings about that. I love jamming in the studio. Plus, as you can see, I have a lot of different synths, that they're all connected. If you want to, you can go Dawless with this setup already. But still, I see it as a cool thing. I never did a track without a sequencer, like a proper DAW, more than a sequencer. But even without a sequencer, just having synths playing, like, for example, I don't know, arpeggiators, or going with synths that doesn't even, the modular stuff that doesn't even have to have notes to play. I don't know. It always came up interesting, but then it's not a track. I take it as samples most of the times.
And that's why people talk about Dawless jamming, because a lot of people, I feel like they're just jamming and not really producing. It's kind of a different concept, maybe. I don't know.
Exactly. No, you said it pretty right, actually. I wasn't thinking about the word. I think jamming, Dawless jam is the best way to describe that. I know obviously there's a lot of genres that can be made live.
Techno and ambient comes to mind.
Exactly, because there is slow. You can slowly open a cutoff on your synth and then make the drums appear a bit, I don't know, 64 bars, whatever. And people don't get bored for some reasons because there's always something moving, But then I don't know, for our genre, what do you think? Like, do you know any producer that does Dawless funk or hip hop?
I don't, but maybe like if someone in the chat knows, let us know. But we need to make it clear, like, for example, the MPC and the Machine. Do we consider these platforms Dawless? Because especially the MPC, like the newer models, they're so doubtful because they got audio tracks. They've got so much effects editing. Like, is it a Dawless thing when you have so much power? You got a touch screen. Like, it's like a computer. It's like a DAW in a box. And it's not just my point of view. A lot of people have said it.
Yeah, I think exactly that. For example, I don't consider this thing Dawless either.
You don't? The SP-404 Mark II?
It's kind of it's already like a rudimental DAW to me. The fact that you can save what you do, even if it's a pattern, or even save the audio in the end, it's already, something that you can consider. You can make music on that.
It's super rudimentary, man. Like, you can't really.
It's super rudimentary. Exactly.
You can't really, like, editing is quite hard on it. Like, recording code.
It's not a DAW.
You can't record. Like, if they made the 404 Mark II to be able to record audio, that would be great. I mean, recording audio tracks.
A whole.
Because, like, track, for making you know, for making drums, chopping samples, it's pretty cool. I enjoy it a lot. But when I want to lay down a bass line, and by the way, let's just give a shout out to SFT Beats, because he's been doing some crazy stuff with the 404, only with the 404. Super dope beats, and his bass lines, I was like wondering, man, does he, like, if people in the chat don't know about him, look him up. Like, he's just super ill on the 404, and he got it super recently, actually. Like, he already released a beat tape with this one. Like, very rarely do we see producers being so productive and making such good music with it, right?
Yeah. It's really difficult, actually. I mean, it is difficult to make music with DSP. So
I mean,
really,
anything.
I'm always amazed about the SFT. Actually, I always watch his videos.
Exactly, and like anything, because okay, and I'm talking about music that will really move people. That's really great to listen to, regardless of what it was made on. Because for us, the producer community, we're like, oh, he made it on the SP. That's super impressive, right? But then, then like normal people don't care about it. Like, they just care if the music is good or not. They don't care if you made it on a SP or on a Amiga tracker or on a DAW or whatever. They just care about the music. And very rarely do I hear music come out of the SP that is good, just good music, man. Just something really well produced, nice sounding, good arrangement, good melodies, and
I think it's really difficult to mix on the SP like he does. So yeah.
Exactly. I think it's really difficult to do that. That's why it's such a like notable thing, and that's why I'm mentioning him. Or maybe I can get him on the stream someday. I think it would be cool to chat with him, because he does super dope stuff. But anyways, what about the Teenage Engineering OP1, man? What about their stuff as a whole? Because they've been super controversial. Let's be clear. Let's be like honest. Obviously, like, it's a free world, right? You can make whatever you want to make, put it out at a price that you like. You're free to like put any price, right? But their stuff has caused a lot of controversy, a lot of hating, like for the reason that it's super expensive, or doesn't do some basic stuff. What's your point of view? Because they're super heavy in the Dawless. Like, the Dawless community is super into Teenage Engineering. I can tell that.
I mean, I need to say I tried it, and I found
the OP1. Is that the OP1?
The old one, not the new Field. It's called Field, right?
The new one is Field with like the crazy price of €2,000.
But even the other one got more expensive. I think it was something about the screen back in the days that they didn't find the screen yeah, and they made it more expensive.
So what's your hot take? What's your hot take about the?
What do you want to know? Do you want to know about the company or about the OP1 per se?
Everything.
Okay, the OP1 per se as a tool. I think it's amazing. I like it a lot. Like, you can do a lot of stuff. The fact that you don't really know what the parameters does, it's at least for me, that when I use a synth, I always know, what's the cutoff, what's all the knobs on that. The OP1 doesn't allow you to understand it. So it's just, you go crazy with that and you don't understand. Yeah, well, if you spend a lot of time, you're gonna learn it anyways. But it's not intuitive in the sense that you cannot predict what comes out of that box. And to me, that's really good. Like, that's really, really good. On the other hand, the company, it's completely, to me, it's super hyped. They make like product for I don't want to say, but it's like Apple, when they sold the wheels for the Mac for €2,000. That's how I feel. Like, you remember the Mac Pro wheels that they sold for €2,000.
Like, actually, talking about Apple, I recently saw a video about the M2 Mac Mini, and the guy that was reviewing it was like, "Bro, do you know that Apple sells you a stand for their monitor for $1,000 and a full computer and a really good computer for $600?" So that's kind of crazy. But I wouldn't. I mean, I see the parallel with Apple. I see why you mention it, but
it's design. It's a design thing with Apple and teenage engineering. So what they doing, for example, with the, I don't know if you saw that, but they are selling a plastic bag to put their products for a lot of money actually, and that really was kind of what why, like, who would buy that? So it's only about, it's not really, when we go in that field, it's not too much an instrument, but it's more like something that you would put on a table to look at it, and when you see it, it looks good, it makes you feel premium in some way. Even the small mixer, for example, I think that's super premium. I don't know what I would do with that, but it's
it costs
it's really good.
It's super expensive as well, right?
Yeah, but the quality of their product is up to the cost. At least we need to say that. So
Okay.
I don't know why you would make something like super hard steel, and super, the design. You put so much effort on the design more than the instruments, but even if the price is super high, the way you make music with them, it's good. So I cannot bless them too much.
I think, man, again, I think Apple products have a bit more of a practicality to them, while Teenage Engineering is purely design company. Like it's like getting a designer jacket, and I think they do have that. If I'm not mistaken, they do have some clothes as well. So that's the kind of thing that you're paying. You're paying for the brand and for the, I don't know, for the exclusivity. Because I don't know, because the prices are super high, and they dude, I watched Ben Jordan's video on the Teenage Engineering Copy One field, and one thing is that it doesn't have an undo, which means which he said, like, that discourages you from adding more stuff to your track, because you may make a mistake that you cannot undo, which is kind of
this is like, this machine is the same.
It's not the same, but it's similar. Like on the 404, deleting stuff, it's pretty hard, even though there is some there is a one method that you don't need to go holding the delete button all the way through. There is such a method, but it still requires a lot of button presses. So I don't know. I feel like deleting stuff should be easier and faster. That is my opinion. I think it should be much faster.
Well, we're still talking about the OP1. I think we're still talking about something in the middle between a DAW and Dawless. I don't know if you can catch my point of view. So if it's something that you can record and replay what you recorded, it's already a step up from Dawless. When I hear Dawless, I mean a mixer with drum machine, synths, whatever, and maybe a sequencer, and you play them. And if you don't record them, there's no way you can go back to the original recording.
So that's what Dawless is for you, right? Yeah, kind of makes sense, but for me, it's all about extensive editing and recording features, and basically being able to make a complete track. So my definition is a bit more fluid. But anyways, who cares? Who cares, man? As long as people are having fun, there's nothing wrong. I see that people say this a lot. They say, I work on a computer all day long. So when I get back home, or when I finish working like for my main job, I don't want to look at a computer anymore. And that's where the Dawless thing comes in and makes it more fun for me, and makes it feel like I'm not working, and makes it, a different experience. That may be true. I'm not saying it's not true for some people, but I feel there are a lot of people that are basically saying this as an excuse. Because I remember having that feeling, like it was back in, I back in the day when I had an office job and like I was exactly doing this, like 8 hours, sat on a computer, bought an MPC 1000, never finished, like I finished one track in that year. So that was super. And looking back at it, I realized, bro, that was just an excuse. That was just an excuse for me. Like it was not, the computer was not the problem. The problem was my motivation to do it.
Yeah,
I'm
true.
just being 100%. Let's see what guys in the chat are talking about. What do you think of Electron? Says Anna. What do you think of I don't have any experience with the Electron, man. I don't have. Do you have any?
I tried the how is it called? The samples, cycle sample something. Yeah, the white
one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was great, but I never had too much success with that brand. I think it's I think they're German, if I remember correctly.
Electron is a Swedish brand. It's a Swedish brand.
Swedish, okay. I don't know. It's just the way. Probably is the workflow on that, but I don't like the MPC workflow either. So maybe they're quite similar on that reason. There's too much menu diving only for playing a sample. To me, that should be easy, you know. Like on the SP, when I got the SP, there was, you know, if I get a device like this, should be easier than my DAW. Otherwise, I will use Ableton. It's you know, quicker.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't have any experience.
That doesn't tickle.
I don't have any experience, so I just trust whatever you say about it. I just what I know about this is that if I get one of their devices, I'll need to spend a lot of time, effort, and brain power to learn it. So that's the reason that I haven't really been interested in doing that. So I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't have any experience. Paul says, yo, Bella Madi. I don't know who Paul is. Maybe a friend of yours. Paul, Ghostwriter TV Machine Plus is great. It sure is. But I don't have a Machine Plus, by the way. I have just the Mark III. One of the things about the Mark III versus the Machine Plus is just there is nothing like if you get a Plus, it's like you don't get anything different. Like it's exactly the same thing, only without a computer. So the Digitact is quite nice from Electron, says Alex Buga. I mean, yeah, the Digitact has been used by actually a lot of hip-hop producers. Like, the one that hip-hop producers get into usually is the Digitact. I actually saw DiBiase making beats on it recently, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm pretty sure it's super. I'm pretty sure it's dope. But again, the Electron workflow, I know it's kind of weird, and it's not something that, you know. But then again, probably so is the machine workflow, right? For someone who hasn't used it. Ghostwriter TV says, talk about the Machine Plus. Yeah, I never used one, but like from what I get on the Mark III, to get that kind of power without a computer, that is insane, man. I don't understand why people are knocking the Machine Plus when you get such high quality synths without a computer, with so much sonic arsenal. Like the sounds that you get in it are super crazy. So I don't know, man.
I thought it was more expensive actually than what it cost. It's really cheap, like for what it does. So
it came down. It came down. I think it was more expensive initially, and it came like everything else. Basically, it's on par with the MPC Live 2. And Ghostwriter TV says, I don't like MPC workflow. Well, it's super. Like, it's a personal preference, right? I don't like it either, to be honest. But no disrespect to anyone using the Paul. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you, bro. You see, I got alerts when people subscribe to the channel. I get the alerts, and you know, upping my streaming game. So yeah, I don't like MPC workflow, man. I mean, it's a super powerful machine. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Seems like that in your channel nobody likes
but like it shouldn't be like that, man. Like I don't want I don't want people to watch me just because we use the same gear, right? I feel like music is an universal language that transcends gear And that sounded a bit too poetic, but that's true. Like whatever you're using, whether it's MPC, like even if you're using fucking Pro Tools, bro, whatever, who cares? Like as long as, because Pro Tools is another DAW that's like kind of people.
If you use Pro Tools, don't come here, please. No, don't want any. No, bro. You're not even making music. Stop it. No, I'm joking, but plus there's no one under 50 years old that uses Pro Tools. I hope.
Oh no, you didn't.
No, I'm just joking.
Nah, bro, for sure. Audio Gus says, yeah, machine is great balance for me. I can feel Dawless for the fun part, and then, well, what do you know? I can now tweak and noodle everything. That's a good point. You have very tweakable, like the engine, the sampler engine, the effects and stuff is very deep on the machine. But if you want to get deeper, you can just connect it to the computer, and you have the like you can go to the software and just have more options there. So and I think it's the same for the MPC, but the MPC has crammed all the features in their touchscreen interface. That's what makes it a bit, because like if I'm gonna be touching so many things and just menu diving so much, I might as well just use Ableton, which does it better, faster, harder working.
Maybe like an alternative to the MPC could be the MPD with an iPad.
I mean,
and that could be even easier.
But that could be any controller, like, right? That's my, like, the MPC experience for me was very much like an iPad. I mean, I do appreciate the tactile buttons, because the iPad is no tactile thing, man. It's super touchscreeny, but the problem with the MPC was that the touchscreen was really disappointing for me. Like, I'm used to the iPad touchscreen, and this touchscreen was mediocre. Let's be honest. It wasn't as good as a proper touchscreen on a modern touch device. It was like a budget phone from 7 years ago or whatever.
Did they up the game with the latest MPC?
I've only used the MPC one, so I don't know. But I feel like their touchscreen is the same touchscreen on every device. Maybe the big one, the MPC X, has a better one. I don't really know. Stuart Moxham has subscribed to the channel. Appreciate it, G. Thank you for the sub. Welcome aboard. But yeah, I haven't used the MPC X. Like, it's too. I would never even consider it. It's just so huge. Like, it's bigger than it's bigger than a computer with a controller, and like it's for hardcore. Exactly. It's for those hardcore MPC enthusiasts. Shout out to them, man. No, nothing wrong with the MPC if you're making good music and having fun. Anoy says, I have model samples. It's really fun, but to finish music correctly, not too much choice of exporting a DAW. Yeah, exactly. That's why you may jam Dawlessly, but if you want to be productive, you'll need that DAW. And, my thing is that I'm fine with this. I don't have problem with people doing this. I just don't want people who actually want to be productive, maybe even have music as a career, and maybe even earn some money. Because earning money is one way to ensure your longevity in music, because life gets in the way at some point and you stop doing it if you're not earning any money from it. So that's why I want people to be very clear and be honest with themselves. Do I want to take this further, make it like maybe a hobby, like a hobby/side hustle, maybe get some releases under my belt, do some work, or am I just purely relaxing after work? You should be honest. If you're just relaxing after work, hey man, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't want people who are more ambitious to get caught in the Dawless hype and just do something that gets them even further away from being productive. Is that do you feel that this is a correct?
You touch a really good point, actually, because if you see like YouTube most of the times, it seems like that's really fun. The Dawless thing is super fun. It's there are channels that are really big that does that. So if somebody that is big does something like that and makes money from YouTube doing Dawless, it could be done, right? But usually, first it's a trend now, because for some reason, when PCs got more accessible,
Exactly.
obviously, majority of people does music on the PC. If you remember, like some times ago, there was everybody with an instrument. Now you see only producers with only a PC. So to step away from that, like from the what is considered the norm now, most of people think like they need something different, but in reality, you can do a lot of things with only a PC. So it's more like how you use your instrument. Plus, I think that if you go Dawless from the beginning, you're not gonna understand too much what Dawless is. If you're a beginner, like first learn your tools, learn how to produce with your synth, drum machine, everything, learn how they work. And the PC is the easiest way because you don't need to buy all of them. There's a lot of free synths and free drum machine and free everything that you can
Great point.
learn your craft,
Great point.
And then you can go Dawless maybe after some point, I'm always talking about the SP because it's the only portable device that I have, except for all the synths, but I use them with Ableton. But like for the SP, I think I wouldn't enjoy that much if I had that from the beginning, because I didn't understand how music worked, what a track was, how to mix even. Like you have super limited stuff on here, and if you cannot mix with something like Ableton, then you probably couldn't mix shit with this either. So
Absolutely, man. I 100% agree, and I would add something to this. The DAW, the computer software thing, is more visual, which is very helpful when learning, because you can see it. Like a lot of people are visual learners, and all this gear, even though it's the real thing, it's much more abstract. Especially a sampler or like a groove box that is self-contained instrument with menus and stuff. It's much more visual and easy to understand on your, like, or even a synth, because on a software synth you can see, for example, let's say you're learning how envelopes work. It's kind of a tricky concept when you're a beginner, and you can see the actual envelope graphic, and you can see how the signal is affected by the envelope on your computer screen, like on some of the more modern synths. Whereas on a hardware synth, you have like a knob or a slider, and you can't really make the connection between what you're doing and how it affects the sound. It's just more difficult. So I definitely feel like if you're a beginner, because I see on the SP-404 Mark II group on Facebook, a lot of people start on the 404 Mark II as their first thing. I would be overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed, even though I'm not a beginner. Honestly, I'm not a beginner, and I was kind of overwhelmed when I started making music with it, let alone if I was like starting from zero, right?
Me too, actually. It was really difficult to understand at the beginning. It took me like at least 3 days to make a pattern. So I really didn't understand. Even read the manual, I didn't understand the concept. But then it's fun after some point.
True. One of the things is that the sequencer you cannot operate the sequencer and the pads at the same time. You switch like this, switching between the two views. That is something that you don't get on a machine. You don't get on an MPC. You don't get like on these platforms. You press record and start working. Like with this one, you need to go to the sequencer mode. Audio Gus says, I use Samplitude Pro Tools knockoff. Okay, man. Wow. Okay. Samplitude. I mean, dude. I've never
Well, yeah.
I when I was in university back in the days, some people were using Samplitude. That's a really old school, super high end professional, I think, actually, right? DAW.
Yeah.
Audio Gus says true. The
I
visual
mean,
is.
but there's no such thing. There's no such thing anymore as a professional, though. Fortunately, like you can even use FL and make, you know, perfect
We're
songs.
gonna get
Anyways.
into FL when we start talking about the producer gangs, because their gang is the most notorious. But
Just for the maximizers on master.
but you can actually, but what is like exactly what is a professional nowadays, man? Because you can just make beats on, for example, Serato Studio, which is very stripped down and very basic. But you
That's a
can,
top
but
pro. That's a top program.
yeah, exactly. It's super good. It's super good. But like you can make money with them. So, are you professional because you're using a professional product, or are you professional because you're actually working with it and making money? I think it doesn't matter what you use nowadays. Like you can just use your iPad or even your phone, and who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, just look at Henry, the business. Like he's using his phone to do
Exactly.
really high end production. So,
But no disrespect to Audio Gus, by the way. Actually, much respect to you for using Samplitude, man. Because yeah, I don't see a lot of people.
I know
using.
some people that uses Audacity actually to make their production, and I struggle to understand how without the without a metric system. You know that the
Yeah, how do you sequence
without
with
a
it?
metronome.
How do you sequence
You
without the?
don't. You just copy and paste. You don't know what time
Well,
signatures you're
Legend
in.
has it that Burial, the super mysterious producer who actually I think he revealed himself at some point, that that some of his legendary works were just made on SoundForge, which is the same thing, an audio editor, just splicing samples and just arranging them one after the other, which
I think it's doable in the end. It's doable, and sometimes it gets you in a weird space when you're producing and you're trying something else, from a used to. So I can understand people that wants to try something crazy. Like I want to make an example which is really stupid, but these days I really don't know why, but I can show it to you what I'm actually trying to use.
let me put you on full screen, man. Let me put you on full screen. How do we do that? Oh yeah, there we go.
So for example, there's no I made a song, yeah. There's no reason to use this program, which is an emulation of an old tracker, and what it does is it emulates the console games, and there's even a Game Boy, C64, the Neo Geo, the NES, Super NES, I think, inside here. You need to write every single note, so there's numbers, and it's not even in a decimal system. It's like hexadecimal, but still, like, I don't know, it forces you to make something different sometimes. So
That's
I
crazy, bro.
I encourage everybody not to try this program, but to try something. No, this is really too much even for me, but I encourage people to try something else. So always go and experiment. For example, that's what can I play it? It's really fun, by the way.
Do you
It's
have
like,
the system audio shared? Are we gonna hear it? You can play it, yeah.
I think yes. Let's try it.
Gangsta.
So as you can see, like, for example, that's how you put vibrato. So you type the code 02 and then the amount. So 7A is the amount here, and then you need to stop it here. It's kind of crazy, but in the end,
It is super crazy.
if it forces you, to go into different territory, try, experiment it. It's not about the program. Then you can always go back on your original program DAW that you choose, like FL, Ableton, whatever, Samplitude, Pro Tools, anything, and finish your song. But if you want to experiment, go ahead.
Bro, that's crazy.
Just don't spend too much money.
That's crazy. And that was a great point, by the way, when talking about Audacity. Audio Gus says, I love to work Dawless in AUM on iPad, then chop and slice in Samplitude later. Sure. Calvin says, Apollo Brown is a hip-hop producer that uses Audacity. I never knew that. And Audio Gus was impressed by the tracker thing. He said Renoise is awesome.
That's not Renoise. It's Deathful Mask. The Renoise is another one. It's the more popular one. This one is
but
niche.
But I think he meant that
the other program.
It's like Renoise is probably the most popular one that is like used for.
No, Renoise is really good actually, and I think it's a bit easier than this one, but it's not a perfect emulation of all these consoles. That's why I don't know why, but I want to make music for Game Boy.
Bro, you know what? Let me just say, sorry to interrupt. Let me just say it before I forget, bro. Like, I think the whole making music thing is kind of become like a video game. It's kind of like a video game. Because obviously, if it was just the goal to use the most efficient and high quality tool, like a DAW like Ableton or Logic or FL is just so much easier and more powerful. But people want to be challenged. People want to have fun with it, and people just want the experience of maybe using something different and just, I don't know. It's like for some people, making music is like gaming for like. I mean, it's not like, so I'm not saying, am I saying something new? I think a lot of people realize this. It's not like I didn't make this, I didn't like create this
sentence. No, you're actually right, actually. You're totally right. I think that comes with art and limitations. So that's the whole point. Like when you're making art, the more you're limited, the more you get creative. So that's why, using a program like a tracker instead of Ableton, and the fact that I can only play 3 notes at the time, and I have one drum channel that is basically a noise, and that's it. That forces you to use that noise as a drums.
But isn't that a bit too limited? Like that's a bit too limited. Like that is.
I don't know. I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, with my music, I'm always I'm not using 100 channels anyways, and you don't either. So it's always 3 or 4 channels. Whatever. Maybe some effects, but it's drums, bass, chords, and a lead fundamentally, and then some embellishment.
Exactly. I don't have hundreds of channels. Maybe 20. Like 20 is a pretty typical project of mine, honestly. Considering that I got drums in one track, I use I don't have drums in separate tracks. So if you have your drums on separate tracks, it just increases the number of channels. So but anyways, yeah, man. I think gaming and music go really well together. Nothing wrong with that. And maybe it's even better because you have something to show from your gaming when you're finished. Hopefully, Then you express yourself as an artist. But anyways, that's the thing, man. The Dawless thing. So. And talking about different DAWs, like people mentioned Audacity, which is not really a DAW, Samplitude, Pro Tools, you mentioned FL. There is, and I think it's connected to the other point. That's why I made the stream about all these topics together, because if you're just doing it for your entertainment and treating it as a video game, and there is something to be said about belonging to a certain community, to a certain group. Like you identify with this group and with this community. And that's the reason people have been like championing these music production gangs, hopefully. But some of them are really like, some of them get really aggressive with their,
Yeah.
but I mean, hopefully no one ever got beat up like in real life for using the wrong DAW. I mean, hopefully. But people need to belong to some group. Like it's pretty much the same as supporting a sports team, right? You identify with this. You identify with this group of people, and that's why it creates this really strong brand loyalty. And actually, companies capitalize on it quite a lot. Like they, especially Apple, they try to make you super loyal to their brand. And but it sometimes really gets to people being like, I don't know, getting angry and like fighting with people on the internet, which is really crazy. You know what I remember? Do you remember when Ableton released Ableton Note in September? Was it September? They released their first iOS app. And so, bro, people were super, super pissed. Like the most popular, the most people that commented on their video or other videos were like, why didn't you make an Android version? One guy even threatened that he was gonna sell his license and just use the cracked version because they didn't create an Android version. And I'm like, man.
Well, they were really scared, right?
Exactly. But that's again that's again like Apple creating their brand loyalty with their products. It creates a backlash from people using Android. That's how I see it. Because man, let's be honest. Does it really affect your life so much? Is it really such a problem that you can't really install an app that honestly 80% of people are gonna try this app once and never open it again? I am pretty sure that's what happened to me.
I'm guilty about that too, actually.
Exactly. Exactly.
I tried to use it and,
Exactly. So what do you think about creating such a strong brand loyalty that people are pissed about something they like until before they released it, they were never really missed such an app, right? And they were like, oh man, now I can't use it on my phone. Like, who cares?
That's really strange. Like that happened. That I think that's a really good marketing department from this company, because for example, we both we bought the Push 2 when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And did you use it extensively? Like, was it worth the 700? No, 800. How much was it costing back then? 700, right?
I think it was 600 when I got it, but yeah, I think the Push is an excellent controller for Ableton. The thing is that I really don't use it as much. Like I even just prefer to have my Machine Mark III, just put it in MIDI mode, because I can just record because like after I'm done recording the drums with it, I'm good with my keyboard. Like I don't really need the Push that much. I use it sometimes just to get like a different perspective, like a different workflow. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I don't really use it that much.
See, but we bought it without hesitation when it came out.
I had the one. I had the one. I sold it. I had the one. I sold the one and bought the two.
Me too. Yeah. But why? Why did we do that? Just for the pads? Just for the screen? It didn't change anything.
Because it looks it looks very cool. I saw Stroh Elliott making beats with it, and I was like, dude, I want to be like Stroh Elliott and make those super nice jumps.
Exactly. That was my. I mean, for me, it was the screen that you can tweak all the parameters and you can see the Q8, on the screen. That's amazing. Never use that. Never use that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think even for me and you, which we are, making money from music. So I kind of can consider our we as professional,
Yep,
because
yep,
we
yep.
earning money from music.
Of course.
And we were falling for that marketing bullshit too. So it's really difficult even for us to be analytical about something. So if I had to give an advice to people, is that always take anything that people says, even us, as a biased opinion. So we have our ideas, and we make music and we do that in our way. So use whatever you want. Use Sample, Audacity, even Pro Tools. No, don't use Pro Tools. Sorry.
Only like you can use anything but
Only-
Pro Tools. Like you can
But
anything is okay. Just don't use Pro Tools. That's the moral of the story. But like seriously, I feel like this whole gang attitude limits people to maybe not explore other options as much. Like maybe they're like super hardcore MPC gang, and I don't like Ableton, I don't like Machine, I'm like MPC gang, and I don't know. You may be missing out on a tool that is more that would make you more productive. I don't know.
yeah, exactly. Try before complaining about it or judging it. So always try stuff, because you really never know. I didn't know I would use the SP so much in my workflow. Like I'm only using Ableton since 10 years or something. So
Exactly, man.
why would I use the SP? That makes no sense. But it did. In some weird connection in my studio, but it did.
But the SP is a bit different because it's a bit of, I honestly feel it's a bit of like a toy for me. Like I consider it a bit of a toy because it's never gonna replace my main thing, right?
I get that.
It's
like another synth. It's another synth.
Yeah, or something just to mess around on the couch, or like for travel purposes, like you did on your vacation, like when you learn how to use it. And plus it's super useful in the studio because it does everything, like except for being a synth, there is nothing it cannot do. It's a controller, an audio interface, a standalone sampler, an effect processor. What am I missing? A sequencer? Like,
yeah,
so many things.
You can chop actually you can just record from Ableton or drop a loop and just chop them instead of using the push. And I find it's easier with the SP than using the push.
Now here I would contradict you, because I feel like with the push is much easier for me. But like, I mean, it's super subjective. I don't disagree with you.
It's super subjective.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that, yeah.
In fact, there was a push here actually.
Yeah, what happened to your push, man? Did you sell it?
I'm selling it. Yeah.
Are you selling it? You haven't sold it yet. Okay. So
no, nobody wants that, unfortunately, but I want to sell it. No, there's no point for me. Like, since I have these here, I never use.
How much do you expect to get for it?
I don't know, 400, 350, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe not a bad idea to just sell it and just get the next one when they drop it, which is like probably happening, I don't know, never, or like, who knows?
Never is a good deadline for the push 3.
Yeah,
I think they don't even need the push 3 anyways. Like, the push 2 does everything until they come up with another concept.
Exactly.
Hopefully not another push. Hopefully not another
Exactly, because I feel this type of marketing, like, it all depends on the marketing, right? It's all about the marketing, and they're not gonna create a buzz in the music production community if it's not something revolutionary. Like, if they need to make something really innovative and add a lot of, like, they need to create an excitement. It's not just about improving it. Like, maybe, okay, you will add an audio interface, so what? Like, that's not really much of a and I feel like the more time they take to release the new one, the bigger the excitement they need to generate, because everyone is like, like, because if they just dropped like some cosmetic improvements, they were like, so you took like 7 years for these cosmetic improvements. People need something to get excited about, so that's why I feel like they're not in a hurry. But like, obviously, I'm biased towards Ableton, because like, honestly, I'm a bit of a dude. I'm a bit of an Ableton gang as well, like, to be honest, because I'm like,
I mean, we both are.
Because when I see people using something else, I'm like, why are you using this? Like, it doesn't really make much sense. It's much harder and slower to, except for Bitwig maybe, which is like even like an improved version of Ableton. But like, people who use maybe,
they removed a lot of good stuff from Ableton, let's say that, and added other stuff. So
yeah, but I feel like it's an innovative concept. But I'm super deep into Ableton.
I felt people can get as fast as Ableton people at producing electronic music. At least that what I saw from the internet. Logic people are going really slow making a track. They're more like laid back. Cubase, whatever, Studio One, I don't even know people that uses them.
I think a lot of companies took note from Ableton and just implemented some of their features, like the whole immediacy of the graphical interface. Like, I think Steinberg added some stuff to Cubase to make it simpler to use. Like, but bro, like, back in the day when I tried Cubase, like, it was a while ago, you needed to create. Like, you create a MIDI track, you load your VST, and you need to connect them to sequence them, and then you get Ableton, which is like you drag and drop it and you're good to go. So I think nowadays all the DAWs have taken some ideas from Ableton. Logic implemented the session view, so I think it has influenced the DAW landscape quite a lot. Tesla Morgary says, sell it to me, your push too. Where are you from? Because Maddie is based in Rome.
Yeah.
So, yeah. By the way,
I prefer not shipping the push, to be honest.
Yeah, but if like you are in Europe or something, you can just drop him a line. His Instagram is down in the description of the video. By the way, a good moment to just plug your stuff. Do you have anything coming up, by the way? Do you have any releases coming up?
No, but I can tell you I'm gonna make a discount this Friday for both Defunk Volume 1 and 2 because they came out more than 2 years ago. So they're gonna be bought for the price of one on Bandcamp. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm gonna be posting the official Instagram post.
Yeah, everyone watching the stream, go to the video description, check out Maddie's Instagram, Maddie's YouTube. Like, he's got some really dope stuff. Tesla is from Israel.
Thanks, brother.
Tesla is from Israel.
Yeah, it's a bit far. Yeah.
Yeah, if you prefer not to ship it, that would be because I don't know Israel, but I feel like if you're not in the EU, the custom taxes kind of make this not really a good idea. Like, for example, I always prefer to order from the, like, even though in the United States everything is so much cheaper, by the time it gets here, it's the same or even more expensive because you get the VAT, you get the customs tax, the shipping. So I feel like buying local is your best bet. Tesla says Tesla says here it is $1,000. So maybe that makes
$1,000.
Yeah, maybe that's for because maybe that's because of their customs taxes, or I don't know. I know I know stuff is quite expensive in some countries. So without the software, he says, yeah. I mean the plane.
It doesn't come with the software, right?
Like if you buy the basic version, it only comes with Ableton Live intro.
Yeah.
But there are options to just bundle it with the software directly when you're buying it without purchasing
from Ableton, right?
Yeah, from Ableton or maybe from some selected retailers. I don't know. You can just buy it, but obviously the price is the same.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
But the price that you pay is the same as just upgrading from intro to whatever to switch. So it's not a huge discount. So yeah, I mean,
plus you can get intro from free actually.
you're
online.
You're confusing them. The free one is
no,
light.
No. There's a okay.
The free
so
one,
that's two versions of.
Yeah. The one that's bundled with every audio interface and MIDI controller is the light version, which is limited to 8 tracks.
8 tracks, yeah.
And the selection of instruments and effects is also very much cut down, while intro is limited to 16 tracks. And I can do some damage with 16 tracks, right? I mean, I can do some stuff with 16 tracks, but yeah, intro is.
I didn't know that. I never saw the intro actually. So
intro is good for beginners if you're just starting out, because light is super limited. Light is just, or maybe if you're performing live, maybe you're not using it as a DAW. You just need to like do some clips on the session view. I think it's good for that.
Can you use VSTs with the intro?
Oh yeah, for sure. You can use VSTs.
Okay, so that's good.
You can use VSTs with light as well. There are no limitations with the VSTs. It's just track limitation and devices included.
Good to know. I didn't know that. I have like 10 Ableton Live licenses. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with them. Yeah. With every product.
You can give them away. You can give them away. I wouldn't sell them to
if people want that. I don't know what.
I don't think you should pay for the light version.
The light. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing, man. Whatever gang you're from, I think it's good to
respect the other gangs.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly. So yeah, man, we've been live for an hour. I think we can do you want to wrap up? Because you said you wanted to show some stuff on the SP, but maybe we can do like another stream for that.
We can do another stream, yeah, for that. It's cool.
Just because if you do it now, it's gonna get lost at the end of the stream. So
yeah.
But yeah, I need to.
Let's do it next time.
I need to use mine more, man. I need to be more.
Bro, you're using a lot actually. You made some,
And that's the thing. I never finished
videos.
Exactly, but I never I've made some beats on it, but they're just loops. I never develop them. I never export them. I post them on Instagram.
I know.
And that. I think it's great. I think the Dawless thing is great for people who are just posting stuff because it gets like the algorithm is triggered. It triggers the algorithm. Yes. It triggers the algorithm. So if your like goal is to like just get more recognition on social media, like using MPCs or SPs or the OP1 or whatever.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna do a Dawless video right now. Once we go from this.
For sure.
We need to be influencers.
For sure. Are you gonna use what are you gonna use the sequencer if you do the Dawless video?
There's the base station, the Arturia, and then probably every synth of my studio has an arpeggiator, and I didn't even realize until now. So I can use everything.
I think an MPC, even the other ones have great sequencers, but then again, you're into DAW territory a bit. But like the MPC is great for sequencing hardware gear because the sequencer is super, like it's much better. Dude, like even the MPC 1000 sequencer, that is like from 2003 or something, it blows the SP sequencer out of the water, man. It is so much better. Like you have everything you need. You have tracks, you have very flexible quantization options. It's much better than.
That's easier for sure. But this thing has like a MIDI out too, so I want to experiment with that.
Try it. Try it and let me know, because I haven't really done this. I've always been like self-contained, just loading samples into it and just sequencing them inside the machine.
Let's see.
Okay, I think that was a pretty nice chat, man. I just need to set up the Discord server now and just maybe do these streams more often because I feel like people enjoyed this one. We had a lot of people chatting and quite a lot of viewers actually. Damn, pretty.
That was good.
Doing pretty well, man. Bamvox, thanks guys. Yeah, appreciate you watching.
Thanks, guys.
So you got some new people joining. Hi stream, latest machine or MPCs are great Dawless. However, those are already made like computers. Soft on them is acting like a simple DAWs. Personally, I use Machine Mark III. By the way, what is your origin? First of all, Paul Lacitive, thank you for joining and thank you for your comment. I totally agree, by the way. I'm from Bulgaria and Madi is from
Italy.
Like, as if you couldn't tell from his pizza. Like, if you go on his channel, pizza is the main thing. So, yeah, we are European cats. But I totally agree about MPCs or machines being halfway between a DAW and a computer. Polesitive says he's from Poland. Polesitive. Okay. Poland. Hey, greetings to Poland, man. Nice to see you here. Yeah, but I feel it's very. I think we touched upon this. Yeah, it's very similar to a DAW. I don't know if there are any other platforms like it's the MPC and the machine. There are not any others that are so. I cannot think of them.
Electron is the other one probably.
But are they so deep? Because like
it is no the track.
Because like for example, on these platforms you have unlimited effect. Like on the machine, you have unlimited effects. Like you can.
But that's because it's connected to the PC. I mean,
even if you don't, even if it's not. I mean, the limitation.
The machine plus.
The limitation is your processor, obviously, but there is no like. Because obviously on the SP you got the 4 effects buses, and that's pretty much it. I think electrons are still a bit more, from what I know about them, I'm not really familiar, like I said, but I think the electrons are a bit more limited.
Yeah, limited.
And the MPC and machine are the true DAW. Because some people make beats on the machine only, and they finish them on, like they don't use any DAW. It's doable.
It pretty much depends on your genre most of the times and what you want to accomplish. I think editing, it's still
exactly.
Like,
how much editing do you require? Because the sequencer, it's doable. You can even make some transitions, like you can move them off the grid and stuff. It's not super snapped to the grid, but hey. But yeah, let's wrap this up, man. Appreciate you all for watching. And Banvox says, I love mixing on machine. Man, I think you can mix on machine without a problem. Like, what's preventing you from mixing on machine? You have EQs, compressors, you have side chaining. The metering is not great if you're using the built-in stuff, but you can use all the VSTs that you want. So what's preventing you from mixing? Their internal devices sound pretty good. Like they're really usable. So nothing really preventing you from mixing on machine or on the MPC as well. It's super flexible.
Doable, yeah.
For sure. Okay. Does anyone have anything to say? Because we're gonna be wrapping this conversation up. We gotta do this more often, man. You see, like we just need to relax and chat. Micro Freak with Zoom CDR70 grandmother with NTS1 is great. What is Zoom CDR70?
I think, was it a tape recorder?
Micro Freak.
Wait, let me search on that.
NTS1.
What's the name? Zoom?
NTS1. I've been meaning to try the NTS1, man. It's super intriguing, but I never really got around to doing it. It's an effect pedal. Okay.
The new tech, yeah. Okay.
But the Zoom CDR70 is an effect pedal, and yeah, the grandmother was the polyphonic one.
No, that's the matriarch.
Yeah, exactly. The grandmother was the. Yeah, it's a moke. It's a moke. Yeah. Audio Gus says, I wish you could turn on plugin latency compensation in machine. That is the only thing I wish it had. Good point, by the way. That is a very good point, and
You don't have PDC on machine?
no, but you know why you don't have? Because none of the internal plugins add
Has latency.
any latency, and that's a good point, because that's kind of preventing you from doing really professional or super advanced mixing. Because the moment you add a latency causing plugin on any track besides the master track, I'm just explaining for people who don't know what it is. I'm sure you know what it is, but latency compensation.
No, I didn't know actually that.
No, but you know what latency
Okay,
compensation is. Some people may not be aware. Latency compensation means that if you add a latency causing plugin on one track, it makes sure all other tracks are delayed by the same amount so that they don't go out of sync. And it increases your overall latency. Your, like, even with the same buffer size, your latency is higher. But it's great for like mixing, because all your tracks are still in sync, and every DAW has it. But that's something that really is a good point why one machine is still not there in terms of being a complete DAW. Like, there is no plugin delay compensation, but I think that makes it snappier and lighter, and just I think it's just it makes sense. It makes sense because it's an instrument. It's a groove box. It's not a DAW, but it's kind of halfway there. So I don't know. They did a survey. By the way, Native Instruments did a survey with some stuff that they wanna. They asked some people, like everyone could fill the survey and just request their features. So hopefully they will just do some new stuff in 2023. Who knows, man? Who knows? I'm good with it. Like, I don't need more features, but I think they can add some things like I think they should just copy some features from Serato Sample, the key detection, the real-time time stretching, and if they do the stems, people are gonna be, oh man, people are gonna go crazy.
But did you try Serato Sample?
Never. I just watched the Instagram posts. I've never tried it.
Bro, it's really good. It's really good.
Ooh.
Like I wouldn't say that seeing the interface and everything, but the sounds, I mean, those are from the guys at MXX Sounds, a lot of them. So,
but I think
they should be great.
You're talking
even
about
Decal.
Serato Studio, right? Not Sample.
Studio. Yeah, Serato Studio. Sorry.
Okay,
Sample is only the VST, right?
Sample is the VST, and they've had it for a while now. That, like, it's not really. It's very popular, and a lot of people use it in Machine actually, which is mind-boggling to me because Machine is a great sampler, but obviously it has some features that it doesn't have, like the real-time time stretching. Like, because for example, with the Machine sampler, if you play your sounds up and down and transpose them, I mean, you can time stretch them offline, like process them, time stretch them, or you have the audio clips that are time stretched. But if you, like, say you load a vocal sample and you play it up and down, it gets slower or faster. You don't have real-time time stretch. That's something I would love.
You don't have time stretch on Machine.
You have time stretch for loops, and you have offline time stretch in the sampler.
Okay.
But you don't have real time. You don't have real time like on Simpler in Ableton. You just turn off the warping and you can play up and down. So that's the thing that I would love to have.
Have a Machine too. I think the Serato uses the same technology as Ableton as time stretching, if I'm not mistaken. So it's really, really good. Well, I can understand why people use Serato Sample or Serato Studio. It's really, really good. It's super easy, like, to make tracks on that. In fact, I think I did my first track actually on. I can show you. It's on the light.
You have a track to show us? Okay, Bamvox says, "Oh my god, if they do stems, did you try the stems on the Serato Sample Studio?"
No, because I have the light, super light version.
Also, the free version doesn't have them.
I don't know how to. I actually don't know where it is.
Okay. Are we gonna finish the stream with the track of yours?
Not this one, bro. This is really bad. But I can show you my first track on Serato Sample.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Let's go. Let's go.
Where is it? Okay.
Let's go, man.
See, the cool thing is that you have
Nope.
mixer effect directly on the track, so that was really good. Plus, you have kind of a mixer, and then all the drums
Hmm.
has its own channel, and you can put effects on every channel, every track, every drum differently if you want to. The effects are pretty good, actually, not so bad. And
Bro,
you even have some master effects.
Bro, you know what I think about this thing? I think that's the kind of limitation that I like. I don't like extreme limitations. This is the kind of limitation that I can get down with, like being limited, but still having everything I need. I think that this is a great, middle ground between being limited and having, some more advanced features. Great. I need to try this. Definitely.
Yeah. I think it's really easy to use. Yeah. That's a good thing, actually. So,
I actually recommend it to beginners. I don't recommend, like, if you're a beginner, I don't recommend starting with Ableton anymore. I would recommend Serato Studio because it's just so much simpler. Or if you're coming from DJ background, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me.
Plus, it syncs all of your library already. So if you want to use your samples that you already analyzed in Serato DJ, you can do that.
Dope.
Even the cue points, actually, you already have them. So I don't know. It's to me, for DJs that just want to make some beats.
Exactly. Because there are a lot of people like that don't really want to get in so deep into production. I feel it's a great solution. Bamvox.
Yeah, and the sounds are super amazing, actually.
Bamvox was digging your track, by the way.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, next time prepare more tracks, man. You want to listen to, like, we didn't play too much music today, but
yeah, sure.
We've been chatting a lot, man. And so if anyone has anything else to say it now, because we're gonna be wrapping this up.
It's pretty late, actually.
Yeah, is it pizza time? I always end the streams with the joke.
It is pizza time.
It is pizza
in 10 minutes it's gonna be pizza time.
Exactly, man. So yeah, man, appreciate everyone for hanging out with us, for all the comments, for all the chats. And yeah, I'm gonna set up that Discord server so we can have more, like, better communication. Hopefully next time we do.
Even ideas from people for the new stream, that would be good.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to have some input from the community. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you next time. Peace, y'all.
Thank you, brother. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Ciao.